about the internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world.
XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Well,
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to an episode of 24 Hours of Crypto. Let's get right into today's video. JP Morgan, Vanguard, Blackrock, they're all in this together. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode. We have Vanguard and Blackrock increasing their positions this year in February. We're going to go over some numbers, and then we're going to get into Marcus Treacher and an event that's coming up, the Global Payments Summit taking place in Cape Town. This is not a promo, but I want to point out some primary partners here. But first, Vanguard increased their ownership in JP Morgan this year by almost 16.6 million shares. Prior to this, they were doing little increases, million here, million there throughout the year. The last big chunk was back in 2017, about 20 million shares. It makes perfect sense because you know why? After that, it rallied up almost 1,100%. And at that time, they got in at the bottom and then rode the wave up top, as you guys could see, and it had a little retracement and then right back again. But they were also accumulating each of those years, which goes to say they knew about what was coming to First Republic Bank. And as you see, the stock here still going down, and it's gone now. There's the daily stock ticker is gone. No charts available. And we have BlackRock increasing their position in JP Morgan as well this year in February. And then just a couple days ago, regulators seized First Republic Bank, sell assets to JP Morgan. BlackRock and Vanguard combined have approximately $20 trillion under management. The amount of power that comes along with that, we don't know what happened really behind those closed door meetings, if BlackRock and Vanguard had pressure on regulators to seize it and hand it over to JP Morgan. In the last two videos, we talked about how JP Morgan was after Ripple and got Ripple and XRP sued, and that is a fact. Go check out my last two videos if you haven't seen it. So now we got BlackRock, Vanguard doing some sketchy activity. But we'll leave that to another video to go in depth, because we have Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, very bullish on the next stage of the financial sector and the infrastructure that's going to be implemented. Because take a listen to what he says here.
Oh, I actually believe most of the companies are not going to be around. I still believe that.
Anytime there's a new market, there's a lot of people that run into that market and try to show that they can solve a problem, they can deliver a customer need. I have said publicly before that I think 99% of all crypto probably goes to zero. But there is that 1% where I think that is focused on solving a real problem for real customers and is able to do that at scale. And that's going to be...
I do believe
because they're now real, they're frauds, they're what?
Well, I mean, think about FTX. I mean, you can look back now. FTX created its failure was it's creating its own token. It was not a DeFi. It wasn't a ledger that was open to the world. It was a closed ledger.
Right.
It was not distributed. So the whole foundation of what crypto is, it's supposed to be a distributed ledger that is across the system.
There is a need, whether it's a Libra or something else, to democratize the exchange of foreign currencies. Today, with computers and electronic market,
there shouldn't be that.
It should be 10 basis points, 5 basis points.
That
it's
makes
not
sense.
percent. And so I actually believe the idea around Libra, I don't think we need to create a new currency, but the technology to instantaneous calibrate all the currencies, that should be done.
Something to calibrate all the currencies. And talking about DLT, you can't stop what's about to happen with Ripple and the implementation into this new infrastructure, and that, like, there's no going around it. Now let's get into this global payments summit that's happening in South Africa, and we know Ripple is massive in Africa. I'm going to pull out all the evidence here. We're trying to go based off the primary partners. We have MasterCard, Ripple, RTGS Global, Visa, and Swift. When I saw this, Ripple, Swift, and RTGS Global, the first thing that came up to my mind was Marcus Treacher, Executive Chairman, RTGS Global, one of the primary partners. But he has a long resume here. So 2 years and 4 months there, and Ripple, 4 years and 9 months. Prior to that, Swift, 6 years and 2 months. And board observer for Newham, which is also correlated to Ripple, a Singapore-based company. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, this implementation is going to be an all hands-on approach, and everybody's working on this together. I know it sounds crazy, but you guys have been following for a very long time. You guys know.
The whole foundation of what crypto is, it's supposed to be a distributed ledger that is across the system.
We're working on the interconnection. We call the model interledger, interconnecting between digital asset blockchains. Now that, if you like, addresses the need for cross-border payments to flow with the same velocity and the same scale that domestic payments can flow. You kind of solve half the problem. The second half of the problem is all around liquidity. And the kind of elephant in the room is today the world locks up around, I think it's around 10 to 15, whatever, $1 trillion at any one time in balances and nostros in different parts of the world to fund payments which are sent in great big chunks at end of day or end of week. The opportunity here with CBDCs running domestically and with a bridge asset, another cryptocurrency model, a bridge asset to connect those CBDCs together, the opportunity is to deliver liquidity on point in the moment, in microseconds from one part of the world to another. And the model that we focus on is using XRP, which is a very high velocity and very high volume digital asset. It's a free floating asset, unlike a CBDC or stablecoin. Use it as a bridge currency between these CBDCs. So you imagine a world in future where there are, let's say, 180 individual CBDCs per jurisdiction in the world. Making markets between those CBDCs is quite challenging unless you have a common single point, the bridge currency, which then enables connections to be made more efficiently and markets to be made between these individual currencies. So you put that together with both a bridge currency between those CBDCs and the overriding ledger connection between the blockchains that run those CBDCs, and you are kind of redefining how value is moved cross-border.
This new infrastructure, it's not going to happen overnight. There's a lot of testing that goes into this. We're talking about trillions of dollars, internet of value, something that we haven't ever seen before being implemented in the new world economy that's coming to a theater near you. Okay, XRP is the utility token for the new economy, and that's basically their slogan. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Blackrock, Vanguard, getting into JP Morgan just months ahead before the First Republic Bank dump, and many more banks are gonna be dumping, folks. It's gonna be crazy. Buckle in.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch.
I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.